Good afternoon or evening, everybody. My name is Nicki Piccione. I'm here to present my final capstone project. In today's presentation, I will be going over the position statement and some recommendations to make Volkswagen a better company. So in my position statement, it reads, Volkswagen's emission scandal is one of the largest vehicle fraud scheme in the industry. The company utilized computer software to foil emissions tests. As a result, Volkswagen faced numerous considerable consequences, primarily criminal prosecution and financial setbacks. Volkswagen should vote restoring credibility with their stakeholders and customers to help reestablish their reputation. Additionally, Volkswagen should take a firm stance and present climate change and sustainability initiatives to improve its image as a socially responsible company. Furthermore, Volkswagen should reassess and reevaluate their toxic corporate culture and poor leadership skills and improve upon them to help prevent another company scandal. Finally, Volkswagen needs to implement an unbiased third-party emissions test to halt the possibility of cheating and avoid a negative reputation in the auto industry. So going on to my recommendations, let's start off with my short-term recommendations. Volkswagen should develop greener initiatives, and then going to the internal adjustment of toxic corporate culture. And then finally, for my short-term, Volkswagen needs to post a bond. And then going into my long-term recommendations, they need to rebrand, and there needs to be standardized emissions reporting. And finally, they should join an independent verification agency. Volkswagen needs to develop greener initiatives. So for the carbon pledge, they need to make the company more credible and environmentally friendly. The executives and leaders of the company may want to take the initiative to totally eliminate carbon by a specific deadline. Now, that'll really appeal to their stakeholders and customers. Going on to the next point, Volkswagen should take a sustainability pledge to make their cars greener or perhaps electric. That's where the future of cars are moving, and that would be wise for Volkswagen to move in that direction, specifically with battery operated or chargeable cars. And finally, for this point, Volkswagen leaders should start the initiative in the short term, since climate change effects are already occurring. The sooner the company executives start with more green cars, the better impact it will have for our future climate. I'm sure the leaders at Volkswagen are aware of climate change and they know what's happening, so they need to take steps to be aware of this issue and combat climate change. So the internal adjustment of toxic corporate culture. So we all know in this case study, there's a plethora of toxic corporate culture at Volkswagen. So here's some steps that the leaders can do to eliminate the toxic corporate culture at Volkswagen. First, the values need reassessment. Perhaps all of the leaders and employees need to collaborate on what values matter the most to them at Volkswagen. Perhaps it could be innovation, sustainability, etc. There also needs to be an evaluation of toxic corporate culture. Volkswagen needs to assess what individuals or groups are causing the problem. The individuals that led to the scandal, they should obviously be terminated and no longer working there. Leaders should take accountability for the scandal. The leaders may have to issue a public apology and assure that their customers and stakeholders that this incident will never happen again. To take accountability, the leader may want to get involved with climate change or sustainability groups. Finally, they need to get their employees on board for work culture reform. Get the employees' perspective. As a leader, you want to listen to their perspective and what needs to change for the instances of toxic corporate culture of Volkswagen. The leaders need to motivate the employees to get involved with this. That's what a good leader does. Posting a bond. In the case study, Volkswagen had financial issues following the scandal. Posting a bond obviously demonstrates consumer trust. As a corporation leader, there needs to be the establishment of trust between the leader and where their money is going. Then, stricter regulation of vehicles. The money can perhaps go to climate change initiatives, research of greener vehicles, and technological infrastructure. That would be beneficial to the stakeholders and the leaders to get themselves out of the scandal. and sell one of the bonds for financial compensation. This initiative establishes trust among customers, but it also covers the expenses for the scandal. Moving on to long-term recommendations. Rebranding during a crisis is an indicator of credibility. So this may be costly, but the company needs to start under a new name. However, this will distance them from the scandal and provide a new fresh start. Again, attempt social responsibility practices, taking climate change initiatives and showing sustainability to show the effort of rebranding. This effort will be a part of their new reputation. Standardized emissions reporting. Moving on to the next long-term recommendation, the current car model could be the standard to improve the next car model. A leader may ask, for example, how might I make this car eco-friendly? How can I make this move towards the future of rechargeable cars? Random testing and emissions is the next point. There needs to be a random assessment of Volkswagen's cars in various conditions, such as hilly or the freeway. If they find out that these tests don't add up, they may want to improve emissions. So finally, the report and publish findings. The report publishing will provide transparency to customers since they are well aware of the eco-friendly companies. Finally, with my last long-term recommendation, there needs to be a collaboration with agencies that consumers trust. For example, Volkswagen may want to partner with agencies that meet the sustainability to combat fraud. Next, it shows transparency within Volkswagen. As a result, the customers will trust Volkswagen and their sales will boost. Obviously, this is self-explanatory, and consumers look for credible companies, eco-friendly companies. Thank you for listening to my presentation.